And that was 10 seconds of silence for the late Albert Hoffman, who left us at the mature age of 102, Swiss chemist. Well, first of all, a little bit about myself. I'm Scotty Boman. I'm running for the U.S. Senate. And I'll tell you a little bit about me. First of all, I don't know how to control your life. I don't want to control your life.
Thank you.
And if I am elected to the U.S. Senate, I will be one of the senators who knows that the federal Constitution does not give senators the right to control your life.
Thank you.
So now, why a libertarian? Not the only thing I've heard about the libertarians. Lots of people have heard about the Greens. It seems like they can't turn on the TV without hearing about green this, green that. I never hear about, people saying, oh, it's got a libertarian car, that the, let's try to make your home a libertarian home, so it's a green home. So, but I appreciate that at least one of the third parties is getting their name heard out there, and that's great. But a little bit about my party, the Libertarian Party. First of all, we are the only political party that as a matter of principle, as a stated position on our platform for the past few decades, has consistently called for the relegalization of all drugs, as a matter of principle.
Yes.
The Democrats and Republicans have been equally antagonistic toward your right to control your own body chemistry. Those who think, well, maybe they just don't have enough of them within the party to make these changes, but maybe some have supported it, some haven't. You can maybe look again. For instance, presidents can pardon all federal prisoners. I remember people saying, well, Bill Clinton secretly wanted drugs to be legal, but he didn't have to be drugs. He doesn't need it. A federal prisoner can be pardoned by the president. All of them. Anyone for any crime can be pardoned by the president if the president so chooses. A lot of people might think, well, yeah, we've got Governor Granholm, but, she can't do everything by herself. A governor can pardon any or all prisoners in the state system. There are plenty of people serving life sentences right now who are not pardoning. The so-called land of the free has a larger portion of its citizens in prison than any other country on the earth, with 500,000 people in jail for violating drug laws. Okay, and in spite of my reservations about the major parties, I will say this: I applaud anyone who's become or is seeking to become a precinct delegate in one of the major parties. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of input into what they do with their platform and who they nominate, and it doesn't mean you have to give up your other political party affiliation. I'm a libertarian. I'm also going to run for Republican precinct delegate. Just add a little input into the platform in case they happen to come around and get a little sense. I don't expect them to. But regardless of your political party, we must make the right to control our own bodies a hot-button issue. We must make it clear to whatever candidates you meet that they will not get your support unless they support you on this issue. And don't vote for them if they don't support your right to control your own bodies. As a federal candidate, I'm here to tell you that politicians who have been enacting federal drug laws which do not address border crossings or trade across state lines are themselves criminals. Your rights don't come from the Constitution, but many of them are protected by the Constitution. And the Constitution of the United States permits the federal government to regulate trade between states, not trade within states.
Right.
Let me say this quite clearly regarding today's main issue. The federal government has no legal authority to deny legalization of medical marijuana on a state-by-state basis. It's not a matter of preferring this or that law. They don't even legally have that authority. So what about our current U.S. senators? Well, one of them is up for re-election, and it's Carl Levin, so I'll just talk about him for a minute. A little bit about his voting record. First of all, he continues to support the DEA that short for Drug Enforcement Administration, they're not your friends. He voted for the Real ID Act and continues to support funding it. In case you haven't heard, the next year every state is required to make their state's driver's licenses into de facto national ID cards that store personal information about you and will contain RF technology that will make it possible for the government to track your every move. It will require a national database that will serve as a one-stop shop for ID fees, identity fees. The Real ID will be required for most travel and for most financial activity. Levin supports the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, also known as FISA, and the Anti-Terrorism Wiretap Amendment of 1995. He voted for it. And that was even before 9/11. The one that was in 2001. Which makes it easier for law enforcement authorities to use multiple wiretaps. This removes restrictions that previously required judicial authorization for every wiretap on a suspect, creating a single multi-point wiretap authorization. So meanwhile, while drugs are illegal, if you happen to be violating those laws, you're even at a greater risk of getting busted because they can tap your phone and listen to what you're saying and monitor your internet searches. He voted in favor of the U.S. Patriot Act of 2001 that granted law enforcement more authority to search homes, tap phones, and track internet use. Levin votes to continue support for the Iraq war while claiming to oppose it. He voted for a federal definition of marriage as a heterosexual only. He voted to create a Homeland Security Department to keep detention and interrogation camps at Guantanamo. So some of Carl Levin's weapons are not even running against. And what will I do besides being against what he was for? Well, as your senator, I will do everything in my power to support our troops and bring them home from Iraq.
Yes.
And the IRS and replace it with more freedom. And the Federal Reserve inflation tax and return to honest money.
Thank you.
Stop the government obstacles to healthcare choices. This includes FDA harassment of supplement providers, attempts to violate the jurisdiction of states that have chosen to legalize medical marijuana. Protect individual privacy and repeal the Real ID Act. This national ID card is bound to become a one-stop store for identity fees. Only spend money as authorized by Congress. Never surrender United States sovereignty to supranational bureaucracies. Limit involvement in or withdraw from GATT, NAFTA, NAO, WTO, CAFTA, and ICC. Restore habeas corpus and repeal the so-called Patriot Act.
Yes.
Begin plans to strategically close military bases abroad, starting with nations that are able to manage their own defense, such as the NATO members in Europe. End the so-called war on drugs and all other unconstitutional federal restrictions on interstate commerce. If you want to learn more about me or keep in touch, you can look me up at ScottyBoman.org. ScottyBoman.org with no W. No W in your name. And that's about it for today. I'll be standing under the tent for a little while, and I'm sure there's another speaker coming up here.
Hello.